Are all women witches, as some man used to say? Or only those women who no longer want to be like the herd but want to be their own way, do it themselves, maybe even rebel against the customs of the masses? Or are they bad witches? And good witches are those who are so kind and helpful to everyone. But if everyone has both good and bad, then you can't compartmentalize and give names. No one has a label anymore, and everything is just the way it is. Is it chaos? But from chaos, a new one begins. A flower grows out of the mud, and even winter becomes spring again. Everything changes all the time, and so does a person. Pinning labels on the chest and wearing masks is a game, and it should be played with fun and not as evil as it happens here on Earth. Why are you like this, and why don't you do so and so? I'm actually very much a fairy person, so I talk about them a lot. I also take them some drink and food for Halloween, and moss to their houses. At the same time, autumn is still a sad time, even though I was born in autumn and I really like the time of souls. But this fading of nature is still depressing, probably because there is so little sun here. Summer is too short and it starts again this dark and cold time. Autumn, winter, spring is quite cold in the Windfield Castle. The temperature in the room is often below 10 degrees and it all affects the mood. And heating all the time, but even that doesn't help in cold winter. The bats that live in our barn went into hibernation in October because there were not enough insects. They sleep for about 6 months. They must not be disturbed during their sleep. Otherwise, they will wake up and their body weight will decrease, and they may not survive the winter. Although it's quite quiet here, but the number of bats has decreased over the years. In the summer, it was nice when they came at night and made noise and flew around our heads, especially when singing. I hope they stay with us. In the summer, we had an owl hooting outside on the garden swing. We hooted back, and he hooted back at us. In the meantime, he also came closer. Then we no longer knew what we said to him. Maybe we shouldn't say that. I've always liked wrinkles and cracks and everything that ages and gets and broken things, and faded colors, and all kinds of things that are still quite interesting and can be used for something, but people often just throw them away and say rubbish about too many things. I like recycling. I will definitely cover this topic a lot. Sometimes old people also feel that they are no longer good for anything and they are thrown away. I like that kintsugi and how in Japan cracks are repaired with gold mixture, and the broken thing is even more valuable, and now it has a kind of personality thanks to the cracks. On this autumn holiday, I want to deal with the oppressive opinions that the ancestors have inherited among other good things. That a girl must be modest. That money is evil, and only the poor are honest people. That everyone has to slave for someone in the same way and be quiet and humble. That being a certain way is dangerous, and if you are, be quiet. That life must be hard, and you have to be decent and suffer until you are called away from this world. Even an Estonian proverb says that he who suffers lives long, but that means it will suffer longer. I chose the cards related to this topic from the oral cards. I chose such a card for myself, the Lady of Shalott. Her story is like this. She suffers from a mysterious curse and must continually weave images on her body without ever looking directly out at the world. Instead, she looks into a mirror which reflects the busy road and the people of Camelot who pass by her island. The reflected images are described as shadows of the world. I chose these from the second deck. Owl and Crow are supporters and witnesses. Lower World and Curse are related to intention and also to the card from the previous deck. Drum and Magic are tools. When I was young, I used to draw angels, or rather portraits of angels, because I really liked drawing portraits. And the angels themselves started insisting that I draw. You just feel how it follows. That is, it sits in your head and wants... In the end, the desire is so strong that it can't be. I have to start drawing. Gradually, I got a picture of what kind of angel is currently waiting, and I knew how to look for suitable models on the net. But sometimes I only got a firm knowledge of who he is during the drawing. The very last angel was an angel of alteration. He helped me get rid of my anger and become braver. But I will make a separate video about these angels someday. I love spiders. At least the ones in our country, there are no poisonous ones here. Sometimes my old house is like from a Halloween movie, if I let them take it freely. But if the kids start complaining, I take them out in my hand. They can be quite calm on the hand, but they must also be hibernating. The flies also disappear. I did see two during Halloween though, and of course that's good before. Although, in Finland they say, if a spider is killed, it will bring rain. And today it was raining. After all, everyone cleaned the room and they didn't like spiders even on Halloween. I also found a brown feather on the ground. Stability is a mess because I haven't had a job for a while, but it's okay that the future is brighter. We went to the cemetery to light candles on the graves of our ancestors and saw a squirrel. I haven't seen a squirrel for many years. There are still very few of them, but it's also a good omen. I like cemeteries. I spent a lot of my childhood in the cemetery reviving strangers' messy graves and talking to them because the cemetery was next to my grandmother's house. And I like trees and the peace of the cemetery. Here is the tree of our wishes. And here is the grove of secret whispers. Here is the meeting place of the living and the dead and no man's land. Also, the old Estonians had a fenced part of the farm garden, which the newer texts call the sacrificial garden. This place was sacred or taboo. Departed ancestors were considered the guardian spirits of the family, or mediators between the human world and the gods or the other world.
During the autumn soul season, the ancestors were offered food and spoken to and asked for help and protection.
Estonian folklore is also quite interesting. We have a lot of old symbols that are similar to those of other nations. I'll talk more sometime.
I used to make quite a lot of dream catchers. Some of them are made of crocheted lace. Most of them have already gone from here. I would like to try all kinds of new ways of making dream catchers. Then I will definitely make a video too.
Have to make a separate video about them. There are so many interesting and mysterious things about stones.
The moon is something completely special. When you think about how many people it has given encouragement and support and peace to, surely saved many lives. It rained all day on Halloween Day. Although lighting the candles was difficult, especially at dusk when the wind was strong and the umbrella wanted to fly away and I tried to film with the other hand. But otherwise the rain as a symbol suited my intention. I'm not a fan of deep waters, but I like rain and water as an element. Water is such a good carrier of information and its aliveness is something so enchanting and comforting.
During Halloween, I made pumpkin jam and put pumpkin in a cake, and made egg and flour breaded pumpkin slices, and made powder for drawing. Because there was so much stuff and seeds left over from making pumpkin faces, And I ate them raw too. This is very healthy. Just like apples, which I love to eat the most. I only recently heard that pumpkin seeds can be roasted and eaten as they are with the skin. So far, I only knew that the contents of the seeds are eaten. Soon, I will try roasting them. If you have any tips and suggestions for this, please write in the comments and write about your Halloween customs.